Hey folks, it's your boy AA. Today we're checking out Creeper World 4. This is an extremely unique tower defense slash sort of like RTS tactics hybrid. It's been recommended to me over the years by several people, many of you guys, stream and channel viewers, as well as, I believe it was Spiffing Brit had recommended it to me, which got me checking out Angry Tom of the Yogscast. Very unique cult hit tower defense strategy hybrid, but this one is fully 3D. I'm playing the fourth one because it's kind of the most advanced game. The predecessors in the series are 2D, I believe. So 4 is somewhat of a different species altogether, but it is like the full realization of this game's vision, I suppose. But anyway, it kind of makes me want to go back and play the first 3. By no means is this a new game, but it's just such an interesting cult hit game that it made me want to make a video on it. Basically, you're building an array of towers and defensive units to fend off an ever-flowing tide of evil blue liquid that's destroying everything in its path. Kinda cool. Like, this whole sci-fi apocalypse story, just an interesting backup. We're gonna move in on the story right here. I'm gonna go through some of these missions because I feel like an interesting way to explore this game is just gonna be to do an abbreviated run through much of the story until I get to about where I am now, and I'll skip over the boring parts and just do like the interesting, because this game is quite a spectacle. But yeah, this game has a lot of like custom content where you can go crazy and do all sorts of stuff, but it is very confusing, so I thought it would be more interesting if I just hold your hand at the beginning, as if you had never seen this game before. But if you have played this game, I don't know, if you want, maybe I could make some more content on it, but anyway, let's get into it. Yep, just kind of wanted to do like a look at some of the basics. Now, I will say, and I'm probably just gonna skip through much of this early mission because, like, to me, story doesn't really matter. I feel like that this game sets up a mood that does ironically make me want to care about a tower defense game, but I'm just gonna quickly skip through the button controls. This game basically just poops out text everywhere on you. And doesn't really explain the game, which is kind of like part of its vibe. Like, do not read any of the text, because it looks like the nightmarish notes of like a software engineer. It is everything is misspelled, and it honestly just has this kind of funky flavor. Like, priority sensor notification, initiate condition 2 protocols, but everything is kind of misspelled. We'll get to that point in a little while. But basically, here is the creep, or the creeper fluid. And like, it is just this giant apocalyptic mass that is destroying everything. We're gonna go ahead and just evacuate our station right here. It's very like cinematic, considering the fact that it is a tower defense. But what we have to defend ourselves from this evil fluid, and I'm just gonna like speed up time here because it's just destroying everything in its path. We do have cannons, so here we go. So if we take some of our cannons and then we just move them to the side here, we can maybe fend off some of the fluid on this side. I'm just gonna speed up to 4x speed, and maybe I'll put one of them over like here. Yeah, that's good. Because I think we're just trying to evacuate this station right here. So we're going to try to get all the scientists out of the lab, or I honestly, I'm just gonna skip through much of the story. You could get into the story, and I think it might be fun for like a future playthrough, but you just spend so much of the early game trying to figure out what's going on. So we've evacuated, and that's literally the entire first mission. Although I didn't know how to speed up time, so it seemed like more climactic. I don't know when I was doing it, but yeah, I feel like that's all you really need for story, is that there's this giant, like, basically, oobleck. Yeah, I guess that's what it basically is. That's just destroying everything. Okay, so do we have any emitters in this first mission? Technically, is that even an emitter? I'm not even sure what that is. That is like a source of goop, but it might not even be... I'm not getting any, like, active movement coming on here. One thing I like is you can speed this game up or slow it down up to any speed that you want to, but... okay, so we're building towers. I'm just gonna call these power poles. Yeah, we sing praise to the founders in tongue of ancient. Let all... There's, like, some sort of... It basically has the vibe of Halo. I don't know how else to explain it. is a little weird. Okay, so do we actually have any objectives right here? I should probably, like, figure out what I'm doing. So we're gonna go ahead, well, we'll just build out towers this way. I'm going through much faster in these tutorials than I was the first time, though, because I guess the one thing that's a little confusing or maybe even a bit annoying about this game is the first time that you go through, you're, like, just trying to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do, and it is necessarily pretty confusing. But, I mean, like, it is kind of crazy to look at, isn't it? I don't know, there's just something very, like, satisfying to me as a person making videos on the internet about this. Like, this game is always cinematic. Okay, so here we go with our turrets. I'll just put this into 1x speed so you can kind of appreciate what it really looks like. So, you can just basically neutralize the goop as you use cannons for it. Okay, so what we're gonna go ahead and do here in this mission, because we're trying to get over to one of these items. This is an info cache, basically our, like, objective. I'm gonna try to get all the names of things right. There's all of these resources with, like, weird alien names, like Liftic and, oh god, I can't even remember. But there's a decent number of hotkeys and controls that you should really look into for the game. Okay, so I accidentally built into the goop right there, and let's just go ahead and double up the speed. But basically, the way that this works, more or less, your supply chain, is that we do get some from our Rift Lab. And so all of those, like, I guess, I don't know, like those lumps that are moving out toward what are our cannon blueprints. Or, whoops, one of them also got into the goop again. Do I need to build on higher ground, or will we manage to get this in time? Let's just see. Okay, I guess these things are slightly emitting fluid, but... Alright, now we can build a couple more. And it's not just exclusively building them, we can also kind of, like, bunny hop them over each other, and basically, as long as you have enough energy to supply all of your cannons, you should be good, but... eventually we'll have a way of just neutralizing these little things that are, like, emitting all the fluid, but... For right now, we're just gonna bunny hop these one over the other, and then after that, I've just got time sped up here. I think we could build another power pole here, and we could pretty much just, could we bridge this? No, we're going to have to do this. And we can also use, like, all the kind of power user controls. Like, we can use shift click to build multiple at once, and that is quite useful. Like, already, after having played the game for only about 4 hours, I'm getting a lot faster at it, because the first couple hours I was learning it, it was taking me a while to do some kind of basic tasks. But here we go. Actually, I might just be able to get through these. It is always interesting, though, you know? Okay, so we have other things, like we have this pyramid. This actually has anti-creeper in it. Oh, wait, no, Sorry, no, it requires Liftic, I believe. So we're gonna try to activate some totems. So this is a source of one of the major resources in the game called Liftic. Do we actually have anything over here? This looks like it's going to demand Liftic of our grid. I'm just gonna go ahead and build some more cannons over this way. So we pretty much have enough energy to just supply these things with as much of it as they need. I'm just gonna build out our power grid. We can pretty much just spam power grid anywhere we want. It doesn't really take that long to build, and it's, like, fairly... I don't know, it's fairly inexpensive, I want to say. Like, it doesn't require that much energy. Energy... Is it technically Liftic? Is all energy just Liftic? I'm not even sure. It requires, like, green stuff in order to power it. There, I said it. That's as much as I know. I'll just call it energy. But yeah, Liftic is a very useful thing, because we can use it... If I can just come over here, I'm just gonna bridge this gap, and do we actually have those bridged? Yep. Okay, so we've now attached to one of our totems over here. It looks like we just blew something up accidentally. What is even, wait a minute, what is going on over there? Oh, whoops, we actually have rising fluid over here. I should probably build more cannons on this side, didn't even notice that. But what we're trying to do is, I should probably slow down time, because I don't really have enough cannons for these. I'm going to leave some cannons over here, but let's move some of these just all the way out here. Or even just build more at this point. It's fine, we can do that. But we're kind of bridging our way from material to material, so let's go ahead over here and just build them like this. They can survive for maybe a second in some of the fluid, but... if they don't, like, instantly neutralize the fluid, then they'll all be dead. So you do have to kind of be careful here. So I've just cleared the way a little bit here. I'm trying to build over to the liftic, because if we can get the liftic, then we can activate one of these totems. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. Can we actually just bridge you? We might just be able to do this, because there's some parts where the goop doesn't even get in the way. Okay, it did. I will put you there. And then let me just 4x the time again. Okay, cool. So that actually connects. Alright, let me just slow this down slightly, because there isn't really, like... You don't have too many weapon options in this level. Now we bring another 2 over here. So now we've connected the liftic to the totem. Or we will in a second. So as soon as we get this power pole connected, let me just see this. Okay, so now the liftic gets brought over to the totem, and in like 5 seconds, once this rises totally, this should create sort of like a force field that's going to get rid of the goop. All of the creep just kind of like disappears, and this becomes really valuable for controlling territory in some of the levels. You can kind of see an overview over there of everything. And now it looks like this cannon over here has actually done a lot of work for us, so now we can just basically connect that. We might not even have to build anything. Let me just move you over here for good measure. And I will just speed up to 4x. And cool, we actually did a pretty good job getting this mission done. Obviously not like a speed run, but relatively faster than I did when I started. Cool! Okay, but those aren't the only tools. There's also a lot of other stuff that we can use. Man, I'm just realizing like how cinematic this game is. Is this the first one where we get emitters? Well, I'm just beginning to realize like how interesting this game is when I know what I'm doing. Okay, what is happening in this mission? Alright, so this one is fairly straightforward as well. Again, we have liftic, we have an info cache, and we have a totem over here. But we also have an emitter in this mission, and this is where we kind of start to play like the real game, because now we need to decide where our Rift Lab goes. Excuse me. Alright, so this is, I believe, the mission where we're gonna get introduced to, I think it's like a neutralizer, it's called. So I'm going to put my Rift Lab a little bit higher up just so that it's somewhere safe for this mission. I'm gonna go ahead and plan out some of my towers. Now, these towers shouldn't take very long to get constructed, and this is a pretty easy mission where we have, like, good high ground in that sense. Actually, that's not, like, perfectly efficient, but whatever, we'll just live with it. Some of these missions you'll plan out and you just utterly mess up. Like, you want to make sure you get cannons firing pretty fast, so we'll just keep a few cannons on the high ground. And you kind of have time. It's kind of like playing toy soldiers. I don't know why. It just has that kind of feeling like... I used to play on the floor with, like... Did you ever do this? You put, like, dish soap into food coloring and milk in, like, a pan and just watch the madness ensue. I don't know. I had a weird childhood. I did, like, these types of activities for fun. But I don't know. Something about this game just feels like observing down one of those. Okay, so we have a couple of other pools of liftic over here, or with liftic and like other info stuff, but it would be good if we could connect to these, but at the same time, we do have plenty of room over here. Let's just make sure that all these things get built. Oh, and we do actually have mortars in this mission. Whoops, I didn't even realize that. Okay, so we finally get introduced to mortars. Mortars are far better, and they're going to be like pretty much our staple for the next few missions. We'll be using these. Now, I kind of want to get these close or a little bit further down as we go. Whoops, looks like I'm not fully connected there. There we go. Oftentimes my power grid is just like totally disconnected and it baffles me. But yeah, like stuff like that goes wrong. Although I do find that the game is pretty good at giving feedback, and considering the amount of stuff going on, I haven't really noticed any slowdown, which is crazy. Like, some of these missions get kind of crazy, as you can probably tell already. Okay, so this is emitting 30 creep every half a second. An hour... it's kind of hard to tell exactly how much we're... Well, I guess just like... Just by looking at it, does it appear as if we are beating it down? Because what we want to do is just be destroying more creep than it's producing every few seconds. Okay, so we did actually get pooped on the mortar. That wasn't a very safe area to build a mortar. Are we going to be able to build that one there? The funny part is that being able to extend your builds like right into it is great if you can. I think we can use this other time because I mean, we might as well get a head start on these other sections. Let's go ahead and build some other towers. I know this is going to require some energy, but if we get a little bit of this started right now, it'll take less time later on. I guess I'm kind of devolving into a speed run here, more... Not really a speed run. I'm sure there are some speed runs of this, and this is absolutely nowhere near that, but... hang on a sec. Okay, so there we go. The thing I've noticed in this game, it does kind of test that, like, APM that you get from playing RTSs, which I played a lot of RTSs when I was a kid, but I was never fast enough with clicking. It was just... It was like so much decision paralysis. So this game is kind of fun if you want to pause. Like, you can just pause, make some tactical decisions, and go from there. Although I do think it's more fun to, like, watch the simulation as you go. It's funny that we don't actually get offered a nullification in this mission right away. I guess what we need to do here is activate this totem right next to it. So let's go ahead and try, now that we've kind of built up a little bit of a defense over here so we can kind of get into these holes in a minute. We can kind of build our way around. We can even build up here if we want to. Okay, that's fine. And then we'll go ahead and put in mortars just all around this thing just to barrage this fluid from above. Like, who thought that commenting on fluid would be so interesting? Which just shows, like, you don't need characters, you don't need a story, all you need is fluid for a good game, because this game is pretty good. I like it. That's my review, basically. Alright, cool, so we've actually diminished the amount. We are destroying more than it is producing. So now we can kind of, where do we actually have Liftic? Okay, the Liftic is over there still, so we do need to connect to the Liftic via power poles. I don't really know if they're called power poles, but I'm just gonna call them... I mean, they're technically just towers, but I think they must be power poles, right? Okay, so here we go. We've finally, like, neutralized enough room here that we can finally take this totem. I think we could probably get over to this totem as well. Okay, there we go. There's another one. We could probably connect to that thing, whatever it is. Actually, are you fully connected there? Yeah, it looks like they will. And then we have just more random creep flowing off over there on the side. Alright, so now we get some other message, and now we actually do have a nullifier. So basically, these emitters will keep emitting for as long as we don't nullify them. Or, yeah, nullifier. I thought it was a negator for a second. No, a nullifier. Whoops, we haven't actually connected it to our network. So we need to put this in. I don't know if the music, like, gets too intense after a while, but... I kind of like it. It kind of reminds you that this is all like some kind of messed up sci-fi universe that's very apocalyptic. I feel like that the game actually wouldn't be complete without it. It's like fighting the Flood in Halo. Okay, so now we come to a series of very interesting missions here. So now that you kind of get how the game works, there's more bases, obviously, that we can set up. And there's tons of units we're gonna get. We're even gonna get, like... we'll get our own anti-creeper fluid, we'll get, like... There's even, like... You can create an air force to bomb the creeper, basically. There's all kinds of crazy stuff in this game. I still haven't even found all of it yet, but I'm still learning. I guess this mission is the one that introduces us to, like, resource chains, so I will continue through it. Alright, so basically... in those last few missions, we just basically had the energy from our Rift Lab. This is where I would say that the game starts to just get, like, kind of... Well, more like it's meant to be. I'm actually just going to turn on time and just go through this mission, because what I've found with a lot of these missions is they start you off with this sort of, like, abstract shape. In the last missions, I believe all of our, like, fluid was in one neat container, but here, now we've got, like... what essentially amounts to islands of fluid. So the creep is coming across, and there's always, like, one enemy base kind of at the end. Obviously, all of our goals are there. There's usually ways to, like, kind of speed run through if you were really clever about it. But this is just going to utterly, like, saturate this entire island. It'll go up here. It's just going to be awful. And that is all getting piped through over here on this side. But that is going to be a bottleneck, sort of, so that's kind of like the saving grace for this mission. I'm not going to actually attempt this. I'm going to restart in a minute, but yeah, it kind of like gathers up on the side. Anyway, so it's good to get an early totem. That is nice. But I'm trying to think of what else we could do. So we do have access to most of our tools for this mission right from the beginning, but we also have a bunch of liftic over here on this island, and I believe this is where we're introduced to, larger power poles. I do kind of like the way that, like, the tooltips are done in this game. Just, like, it's just so kind of scuffed, and beautiful in its own way. Anyway, so we kind of have to chain our way across, but we're also being introduced to mining. So mining is going to create energy, or we could also create blueite, which is going to create anti-creep, which is basically our own version of creeper fluid. I've been kind of stalling and trying to remember how this mission exactly works. This one... You know what, let's do this one, but I'm going to restart because I just let all the creep fluid just come up on us, and we basically need to plan this whole thing out before if we want to stand any chance at surviving. Oh yeah, we also get access to more pylons here. We must construct additional pylons. So I feel as though there would probably be a way to, like, speedrun this thing by putting something over here. Although it would be very difficult to get out. Actually wonder if that's possible, because we could get one over here and then just build a power pole up, right? Technically, like, save ourselves some pain in that department. Actually, I'm just gonna, you know what, I'm just gonna try this. Let's just see what this does, because there's gotta be a way to do this. Unless if I'm technically not in its, like, aura here. I've been wanting to, like, find some secret pass through these missions. Oh, whoops, that wasn't actually liftic. I'm not actually creating any, so I am just insta-dead. Anyway, now you get to see what happens if your Rift Lab gets destroyed. Wow, it actually takes quite a long time for it to get destroyed. Hey, will it just rematerialize? Yeah, okay, it does. I don't know why I wanted to say that it would be like mission failed. But anyway, okay, that's how not to play the mission, so don't do that, obviously. We will just go for the boring start here in the middle of our, like, mineral field. They're minerals, Marie. Do we actually have access to miners right away? Why do I not have access to miners right from the very get-go here? That is a little odd. I feel... Okay, then let me just construct a series of towers, and then I think it'll give me the miner option. Okay, so we will build some towers over here out in this land. You know, we might as well just build a bunch more towers while we're at it. Over here and here and here and here, just so that those can kind of like channel our miners. Here we go, cool. I don't believe this is actually connected. Let me just put that there. Just spam them everywhere, it never really hurts. I don't know why I'm not getting an outline though here of like where they actually... Whatever, very well though. Okay. We'll probably get to see it at some point. Okay, so now we're going to be building some weapons. So you've seen where the creep goes. Where are we at? Activate totems. Okay, cool. So we did get access to miners right away. So I'm just going to pause because I want to build these so that we have as much energy as early on as possible, because when you do start to have to fight off the creep, it's like, it becomes somewhat impossible. It's just... One thing, I guess, as a criticism here, although I kind of like it, and I feel like it's just because I'm bad as a player, is oftentimes the game just turns into like a battle of attrition in some areas. Although I guess I kind of like that. I don't... It's not really a criticism, I guess. It's just, it is what it is. Like, and I feel like it's good for that reason, though, which is funny. So let's see. I should probably end up building a pylon up there. Let's go ahead and speed back up time. I'm not going to move up to 4x speed yet, because I wanted to see this through. Okay, so minor rotation. These are for energy storage. Or are these for our miners? Ultrax. I don't think ultra caps. I don't think I can actually explain the function of those things. That is too bad. Oh well. Anyway, we're activating totems and going from there. And I don't believe that we can actually connect over with towers, right? Yeah, we just simply don't have enough room here. That is like a slightly odd feature of this level. I guess it's just waiting for the creep to come through. We could also make just more miners. Okay, here we go. So we have access to a pylon now, thank goodness. That is quite important. Are we able to connect these two? Whoops, I guess not. All right. Avoid creeper. Yeah, the funny part about these is... Wait, can I just hit... Oh, I can just hit destroy on these. Yeah, some of the UI in this game is quite... Like, it is quite weird, not gonna lie. Let me just go ahead and pause again. We definitely want to build a pylon from here to here. Because we need, like, some sort of foothold here, otherwise we'll just insta-die. We will build here. And then we will just build... This will be, like, our first line. Hold the line! Like, this game always makes me want to yell, hold the line. Defend the wall! You know, like, it has that kind of energy about it. Actually, I guess we don't really even need this one. We could just destroy that. That was kind of a mistake. Alright, how are we doing with building the miners? I do want to build the miners pretty fast because that's going to give us even more, energy. Yeah, see, it's funny. It's like it's energy, but then there's lift. Nah, it is what it is. Anyway, feel free to, like, correct me in the comments there because I am still kind of learning the game and I do not want to spread wrong information because this game seems to have, like, a Factorio-like community. Yeah, and I like it for that reason. Let's see, where do we have this? No, cool. Okay, cool, so we are supplying energy out there, and holy moly, that's going to be quite a lot of ammo going down there. Alright, so let's see these. These mortars are now built. So this is just going to start, like... Ooh, look at that. Look at what a number we're doing on all that creep fluid. Ooh, oh, that's the stuff. Yes! Oh, feels so right. Alright, so I'm assuming that this creeper fluid will go away, like, before too long, but let's just go ahead and start to connect some more towers and pylons here. We'll start to build another network out there. Are we actually visualizing? I don't know why I'm not actually seeing those towers, like, range. I feel as though I should be seeing that. That might be an option I can turn on. Alright, anyway, we will just build out another line of mortars here, I think. I mean, we will start to bunny hop them, but we want about 2 layers worth of them before we really do anything appreciably. Okay, so it did get through to one of them, but still we can keep kind of zooming out here. Okay, now our backline isn't really firing as much. So let's go over here and we'll just build up to this one. Because this one looks like it's going to be pretty easy to neutralize. Okay, so we build over another tower. And then that one, and then that should basically neutralize this entire zone. So that one's taken care of. And now, I think we can pretty much just avoid this emitter while we kind of construct our way over. So let's build a couple of power poles, and then I think we can bunny hop our back line up just to save a little bit of time. There we go, cool. Alright, so now I've put these guys, like, in the face of danger, but, you know, whatever. I don't even know what they are. They're cannons, but I care about them, man. I care about their cannon families and their cannon kids, you know? I'm a good person. I stand for cannons everywhere. Alright, awesome. So now we're getting closer to this thing. I think I could probably build over to the totem first. I wonder if I could get over there. Nah, we're getting so close there. Alright, but we also have to get some liftic out of this as well. I believe we should be able to connect that power pole, so let's just build over from up here. And we'll try to keep these all connected to our network. There we go. Okay, so now we've taken out the rest of the creep over there. Also, I don't know whether it's actually creeper or creeper fluid. Or if just it's whatever you want it to be, but I'm going to call it all of them. I'm just going to call it all of the names so that I am hopefully getting it wrong at some point throughout the video. Alright, man, we're actually not, we're not quite at that pylon yet. Hang on a second. You move over there. You move over there. We just have to get the remainder of the creep over here. Now we build over this tower, and then we can build over this pylon. Cool, that's all of it. So now this should be able to connect the rest of that liftic to our network. Once we have the liftic, then we could supply these two things. We don't even really need it over here anymore, but whatever, fine. Okay, so there's all the liftic getting supplied in. Now that's actually created like another force field that we can use to neutralize this thing, so or nullify it, I mean. Okay, so now it's in like pretty safe range. There are some missions where you don't get, there are many missions where you don't get this like very nice luxury of a nullifier right next to the totem. Okay, so here now we just have tons of cannons, like kind of uselessly doing nothing over here, so we can bring them all over to this side. Construct another pylon over here, and then I believe we should be able to build up. And that is like kind of a shortcut over to the last part. Now these are all kind of useless over here. And we can build those over there. Now these are all useless over here. So if you plan out and you make a lot of turrets, you can kind of like just yeet the rest of the mission into oblivion. I don't know how else to, yeah, basically that. All right, so we've got one more emitter over here, not quite as much defending this one. We've got one more totem. Technically, we don't even need to get the emitter for most of these missions. We just need to activate the totems. But we will build over one more pylon over here. And I feel like you get the picture of this for the most part. You know, like, this is kind of the strategy of it. The one funny part that I didn't really understand, though, is that you can literally just put your towers into the creep at some points, like if they are sprayers, and they can survive in it for like 1 to 2 seconds, so you could be pretty aggressive with it. But, yeah, like, I don't know, it's crazy. It gets very, like, RTS-like rather than tower defense-y when you play a lot of it. But yeah, as an experienced gamer, that is what I have found. Anyway, let's see here. Okay, I guess I'm pretty much just going over to this last totem. And then we could take that one, but I think we'll just kind of bunny hop a lot of these cannons. I'll leave maybe a couple of these things left over there. And then we will just build over a regular tower, because those get built super fast. We don't really need pylons for everything. Wow, I'm actually getting way better at this. This took me like hours when I first did it. Because I was just like, what do I do now? I didn't realize I could move up so fast. It's like super fast when you play it like this. Alright, so I just need to activate one more totem and we can pretty much just go give it the old like 1-2 punch here. Wow, that is super fast. And they're all kind of mutually supporting each other over there. Whoops. Just build them up, and then one more tower. We might even be able to just nullify this thing. I've gotten so much faster at this. Alright, cool. So we did get the last totem activated, and I think we can even get this thing nullified, too, so that's great. Where are we at here? Have you nullified that yet? Okay, you are about to nullify. The one thing is that if it does run out of power, then you can't nullify it, so there we go. Entire second mission done in only 27 minutes worth of time. I mean, this is, again, at 4x speed, so probably if I were going a little slower and more carefully, that'd be it. Alright, after this it gets, like, seriously apocalyptic. What was that? Not my Mars? Is this Ruins repurposed? I'm trying to remember what this mission introduces you to. This is mission number 5. I just want to see for a second, because some of them are really interesting, like you get rivers of stuff. Okay, so this one introduces you to anti-creep, where you can basically just create your own, like, river of it. Actually, this one is kind of cool. I kind of want to show this one off, too. It is cool. This game is cool, man. This game is really sweet. Okay, so we have, I don't know what these are called, obelisks or something? They look like obelisks. Okay, so we'll build out a miner here somewhere. Just build a row of them on this side. And then maybe some more. I think you can just basically sheet these things over. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Another one over here. And another one there. And then that might be all that we actually have time for, because there is an emitter right there. But we might also be able to get just a tower here, because it's going to construct like a force field around us. Let's just build a couple of these around. That ought to do it. Let's just see what that does for us. Actually, I don't really need 4x speed here. Okay, so that does actually contain us all. You know, we might be able to just build a pylon straight over to this other one. Can we do that? Yeah, I bet we totally can. Okay, so that's just going to create an extra big force field for us. Great, okay, so this is going to introduce us to blueite. So we'll just wait for energy to get processed in there. That's going to just create tons and tons of energy, which will hopefully help us build through the beginning. And obviously you can see this is just going straight through the river. Although there are, like, more intentional geographic features for the next few missions. Because the creep is rising. You actually can terraform if we get to later missions here. And, like, build up and kind of wall in the creep and get rid of it bit by bit. But, yeah, I don't know. This game is just so cool with its fluid dynamics or whatever it is. Okay, it somehow slightly got through the wall. That is no good. Can I actually just destroy this one? And then we could put maybe, like, a pylon there? Okay, cool. We just needed a little bit more room. The creep is actually slightly getting... What the heck? How is that happening? Hang on a second. Can it just slightly... Oh, I didn't even realize these things... Oh, I see what's happening. So when I actually build that, the creep is pushing through the force field for a moment, like a brief moment, so we just need mortars to kind of clear it out here in the middle. That is kind of tricky, I suppose. Alright, so we'll just, like, take it out in the middle there. I thought I could be, like, super sneaky and just get right through this mission, but I was a little arrogant, it seems. Okay, we'll build another one up there. And then maybe another tower over here. Cool. Alright, so now we've taken out a little bit of it, so that might make room for the pylon that we're going to construct here. Alright, let's see what happens with this when we construct it. So now we're hopefully taking that out. We could probably just keep constructing this pylon over and over again, because the waves are now creating these, like, kind of tsunami-like waves here. Okay, so it seems that the creep is starting to dissipate here. That's more or less what I expected, so now we've activated like 2 or 3 of these things. We don't want to let too much time go by, though, because otherwise this entire map is going to start to fill up, and that's going to be problematic. I probably should have thought of that when I was doing that a minute ago. Anyway, it's time to build more miners, and we're going to be getting blueite here, which is quite an interesting substance. Build 2 there. Maybe 3 here, and then another few more here. Okay, cool. So now we can select one. Let's just go ahead and build blueite in a lot of these. And do we have enough room for another pylon here? Yes, these can connect. Okay, then we can just basically switch almost all of these over to blueite in like 3 seconds. We're also going to build a factory, because we're going to need a factor if we want to construct anti-creeper. How much more time do we have on this? Because I did kind of waste a lot of time there. You know what? Let's just build some mortars up here just to be, like, extra safe. Because I was not too particularly smart when I was starting this mission. Put, like, 1 there, and maybe 1 there. Okay, cool. Alright, that's gonna take a little while to get built, but... I like to have a grand plan and just watch it build itself, you know? We'll go down to 2 times speed just to see this happening in a little bit more real time. Because we do have a lot of... Honestly, just a crazy amount of fluid emission. This really... Like, this isn't that much. Because we're gonna see some crazy levels coming up. But cool, now we're finally filling up this thing with anti-creep. Or we will in a second. I just need to build more towers here so that we can construct these next to the miners. Cool. Anti-creeper robots getting prepared. And now we can just take all of these things and convert them to blueite. Pretty much. So blueite is going to be used here, and now you can see that is being built in our factory. The blueite is being supplied, and that creates anti-creeper. The anti-creeper runs through the network, and that's this AC. I'm just going to slow it down to 1x speed. So you can see there's the little AC blocks. Does it just say A on it? Yeah, anti-creeper. Anyway, this stuff is going to be used to supply these... What are these even called? These, like, pyramid-like structures. And then these are going to send out anti-creeper robots. You don't always get anti-creeper robots in every mission, but they're here for now. And it looks like this one is basically just placed here for us like this. And this is pretty much just the tutorial, so... You know, like, it's extremely convenient the way everything is placed here. I'll also just put a couple mortars around here, just for good measure. You know, be, like, a little bit extra on the offensive. Okay, cool, so we've basically cleared out the first part of the pyramid. And then before too long, we should have many of these things taken care of. So let's use a nullifier here. This looks like a pretty easy win. Whoops, that one got destroyed. Let me just slow down to 2x speed. Now, I do like to speed through a lot of it because a lot of this game is kind of attrition, is just a process that takes a while, but, yeah, some parts we could save ourselves some time, especially in these first few missions if we didn't do that. Whoops, looks like I didn't actually connect to the network there. It's a little tricky to visualize, but they do these, like, wires in white and striped red just to show what is connected to the network versus what is connected to, like, an actual node somewhere in there. So these things are going out to the emitters and planting an anti-creeper. The anti-creeper is basically neutralizing the creeper, or the creep fluid. And what we can do more or less from now on is just continue to piggyback these, or like leapfrog these turrets for the rest of this time. We can just deselect those. Alright, let's just do this. We don't have too much there anymore. We could also put our turrets... Oh god, I just lost a ton of them. Why did I do that? I did that way too soon. You know, we might be able to place them, like, over the riverbed here. But honestly, our bots are just going fast enough that we might just be able to rely on this anti-creep. Alright, let me just build a couple of these things, like, at random in here. It's gonna take these bots a little time to, like, overcome the odds here. Okay, cool, so we're actually getting closer to the source now, and... Yeah, I always find, though, the one thing that's a little frustrating about some of these levels is, I guess, unless if you, really know what you're doing with the speedrun, you always do kind of come down to, like, this battle of attrition. But it is kind of like an epic battle of attrition, I suppose. It's kind of cool at the end. Alright, there we go. We didn't quite get it to it there. I'll just put in a couple more mortars, and then we'll try that nullifier again. Cool, and we'll give our, there's, like, so much that we have to neutralize every second. Okay, cool, so we finally have energy on this thing, and... Ah, nice. Okay, so now that these bots are, like, less preoccupied with these two, now we'll just totally go ham on these ones. Alright, so we've basically beaten the level here. We can just surround this thing with... Yeah, we just have to time it right, because there is quite a lot of creep there. I think we could just march these things down there now. Now we just build our network. This is more or less how I'm playing this on these early missions. Now, some of the later missions, you do have to kind of pause and be a bit more tactical, but I find that I can basically just, like, wild man it. I don't really know what else to say. Alright, and we'll see if we can just neutralize this one instantly. There we go. Alright, let's put in a mortar. A couple more mortars around here. Whoa, okay, there they go. Literally just doing this. Alright, but you kind of get the picture now, I feel like. So, yeah, that's, anyway, that's the third mission. Alright, we come to the sixth mission. This is actually the first one where I had to Google search what to do, because it is kind of an intimidating mission. I really just want to play this one out before I even spawn any units, because it is quite terrifying and, like... It reminds me of that scene out of Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey, and Anne Hathaway. Remember when they're like, they land on the water planet and they think they see mountains out in the distance, but it's actually a giant tsunami wave that's coming to eat them? Anyway, yeah, this mission is basically that. But in this game. So it is quite terrifying what's going on. So there's all these different enemy, like, spawner types that we're being introduced to. This one is a bar emitter, I believe. Yeah, bar emitter. So this one is quite perhaps the most terrifying of them all. It is basically just a giant tsunami machine that is creating these, like, cascading waves of fluid. I'm just gonna... Oh no, this is at 4x speed. Alright, so in 1x speed, it's not quite as... Actually, it is still terrifying. It's always terrifying. This game just always manages to be freaky in some way. So what we do have is time in this mission. We have these... What are these, like, energy walls? Yeah, basically these have a minute before they fall. We have a factory, we have a direct source of blueite, and we have greenar mother crystal. So this is going to be more or less how... Greenar mother crystal is how we're going to get... I believe it's liftic here? Anyway, that's going to supply our totems. These units kind of change around a bit, but that is the size of the tsunami wave that we are facing up against, and there it comes flooding through. Obviously, I'm just going to restart this one, but yeah, we don't really have a lot of time. It takes only about 5 in-game minutes for that to come through. And, like, when it does, it just utterly evaporates your base. So, we need to create something that's going to neutralize this wave within a few seconds. And there are, like, these bigger enemy stations over here that we have to get rid of to neutralize the bar emitter. After we get those, though, then it's fairly simple. Anyway, we will restart. I'm going to spend quite a lot of time planning this one. Basically, I struggled when I started this mission. This one is kind of tough. But if we persevere, then we will overcome. You really don't want to get too wrapped up in constructing the miners at the very beginning. Maybe there is a way to do it, but I have not found it yet. We could put you... You know, we'll put you on high ground over here, and we're just going to construct a bunch of towers in our home base area. We want access to blueite, and we want a fairly efficient access to this greenar ore over here. And then after that, we're actually going to create a refinery. After that, we don't really need it for the blueite. Then we're going to need a factory. So I'm just trying to do this in as few steps as I possibly can here. Like, we'll just chain these together in a very efficient manner. We'll build another tower here, and we want to kind of minimize the number of towers we need to build. That's going to lead all to the anti-creep. And then after that, I'm going to see if we can just push it out with one more step and build over to this totem, because then this is going to create this little, like... circle that we can defend in here. I'm not going to be any more ambitious than that, though, because we could get started with miners, but then it's going to take forever to construct the miners. Maybe the only other thing I will do is that once it does build out here, then I'm going to build like 4 or 5 mortars in this center section, and then we're also going to need to defend this section, but I'll save that one for when we cross that bridge. Alright. I think that is about it. Alright, so we will start up at 4x speed. Whoops, I haven't unpaused, so we're just going to begin. I've played this one, I think, enough times that I'm fairly confident that this will work. We just need to be very, like, decisive here at the beginning. Okay, so we've already got access to the greenar, and you are in range of that, so we should be supplying that liftic. Is this connected to our network? I might not actually have a power pole here. Oh, no, it is. Whoops. Okay. Sorry, that was just connecting to a different network. Okay, so it's already building those turrets in there, which is great, because we are coming to the first energy wall that is getting breached here. This refinery is going to be a lot of work, though. Where is it? 12 out of 80. It's going to take a little while for this to get done, but we're already producing anti-creeper straight from the blueite. What else do we want to be doing? I would say now that the factory is done, keep the focus on that. And now I think we could start to build out more towers so we could get our mines going back here, because we want our mines filling with more energy and blueite. Because the next step is going to be kind of tricky. And I would also say now is probably a good time to build a couple more mortars, maybe like one for the left flank and one for the right. And then just a little bit of backup in here never hurts, because we don't want this thing destroying. Basically, we're trying to defend our power poles at this point. Yeah, okay, so it's about to breach the first major wall. Not a laughing matter. I always feel like it's some event of apocalyptic proportions when this happens. This game is so... Like, I know that this word is dead, but it is epic in the most awesome sense. Anyway, let's go ahead and in with our miners here. I can hear something happening out there, but I don't really want to know what's going on. Alright, we haven't really got the liftic up yet, which is kind of unfortunate, so it looks like we won't actually be able to build this thing in time. Are we just going to insta-die in this case? We very well may. I'm not entirely certain. Let's go ahead and try to build some of these miners, because now we need to get more blueite. Come on, like, we need some kind of short-term win here, man. Oh god, the wall is approaching! This giant tsunami wall. We've got only 49 out of 80 because I had to divert my resources into the miners. Let's see how long our miners hold out here. They also are not supplied with any energy. Let's move them back. Hang on a second. Just go back for like 5 minutes. Hopefully something will be built by then. Run back into the anti-creep. Hang on a second. No, I have horribly mismanaged this. Get out of there. Get out of there, men. No, run away! Run back. I have lost one of you. Oh no. Everything is going horribly wrong. Let's see. Did I manage to build it in time? Otherwise, I was just stupid here. Okay, we are alive, but only in time to watch my things be horribly destroyed. Okay, that is it on the mission. We need to reattempt that. I didn't do that right. I should have gotten the liftic to this thing before I built the miners. That was my mistake. Okay, this time I have sort of managed to get enough liftic into the middle before, like, everything gets horrible, so now I think we have, yes, a force field. A force field is an opportunity, man. A force field is time. So we can use that. We're going to just supply these here in the middle for a second. And this one I think is one of the first actually rather cool missions in this game, because, like, you start to feel this sense of... It's like when you can't take out the challenge from the beginning, and it's kind of exciting, like, oh wow, I was actually able to overcome great odds, and it does feel like this kind of last stand sensation. I don't know, maybe that's just me, maybe I just feel cool from it. I need to get out a little more, probably, but, you know, I'm watching the imaginary lives of space alien people in my house, and that's honestly a pretty good time, so, anyway, where were we? Let's go ahead and rotate this with, oh, there we go. This is what, what is happening? Alright, we need probably one more tower to supply some of those. And then I do actually believe that this will be enough here, but we also want to use blueite in these, do we have enough energy right now? I feel as though more energy should be getting supplied. Oh yeah, because we don't have any mines. Hang on a second. We need energy like stat so that we can get these things built. Because we do need some of these. Okay, cool. We do have some link up. Oh, and I am dead again. I have totally failed once again. I was so close too. Okay, after much trial and error, I have basically given up on my original plan and just opted to build a giant line of mortars behind our energy barrier, which might not really look like it could do the job, but believe me, it does. Mortars are very good, so let's go ahead and put in another tower over here. Yeah, I feel kind of sad. I've seen that method work, but I could not get it to happen myself. I guess I'm just bad. Bad, am I? But I continue to exist, so I'll just have to go on with my miserable life. Alright, anyway, so now that we've got all of this stuff in, we could probably redispose this whole patch of, yeah, it is energy. I mean, it's not... This green R. We're gonna need the green R for... Oh my gosh, oh, this must be the next wave. Hang on a second. Are we dead again? I've died so many times. Just so many times. Okay, some of it is getting through. It's going to destroy maybe a couple of them, unless if they all die at once. Okay, we did survive the second wave. A couple of them died, but we could just easily just... Oh my gosh, that's horrible. How awful, wow, but we could literally just rebuild them all and we're fine. Okay, yeah, it is hitting us in like these cascading waves, but they're getting smaller and smaller as we go. Okay, after we've done that, we didn't lose any power poles, right? Okay, we could go ahead and build another tower again. We're going to need that for more of the anti-creeper. Oh god, it's getting through on the other side now. Oh no, just everything keeps going horribly awry. Have we lost again? No, I think we're still alive here. We're fine. Oh no, it is all just like kind of wandering through on that side. Oh well. Yep, that's the death bell. Well, anyway, you get an idea of how this mission would have looked. Okay, I don't want to belabor that one too long. That one is actually, it's one of the earlier missions, but it is kind of hard. It's basically just survive against the waves. On to greener fields and pastures new, because there are more interesting missions out there. Okay, this one is the first one where we see the introduction of missiles, which missiles are actually quite terrifying. They will launch, these spore launchers will send like, aerial attacks at you, and we've got two big emitters over here and one over here, but this is one of those maps where we just have to take back like all of the territory, and that is quite a crazy feat to attempt to accomplish. So we're just trying to literally reclaim here. I guess technically, do we even need to nullify? I mean, you really should. Excuse me, but again, here we're gonna need a refinery on these in order to generate missiles, so we're gonna have to get that ready again. Just that last mission is such a nail-biter, like in terms of time. Generally speaking, you have a lot more time for these missions. Okay, we'll put a few here, then that connects to the rest of the network. But one more over here. It's pretty easy to connect these towers up after all. Okay, so we can do that, and then just build over to this field over here of minerals. There we go. Nothing but good old minerals. I believe this will be used for, is it bluite? I don't believe we have any other weapons here. Yeah, this is just a pure mortar mission. So we're using nothing but mortars to get through the enemy defenses. Or, I mean, I've seen like a modded playthrough of this where you actually play as the creep, which is kind of cool, like that you could just go about it in so many different ways. I don't know, yeah, like, it just kind of, this is such an interesting simulation, you know, that it should work like that. Anyway, that seems like enough for now. Let's get some energy going, and then after that, we'll get some more of these towers on the walls, because some areas are quite clearly, like, walls from the creep here. Okay, cool, so we're supplying our mines. How long is it gonna be? Okay, so we got 3 minutes until these spore things launch. We don't really need any more refineries. We're just going to need like a large line of mortars up here. Pretty much all over these walls are just kind of asking for mortars to be laying on them. Please, lay a mortar on me. Sorry, that was weird. I promise I won't do that again. Okay, let's just put up like solid walls of mortars. I don't know if this is really against like my better judgment here, because maybe we'd be better off if we didn't try to build them all at once, but I'm gonna go big or go home here like I have been for much of these playthroughs. Okay, here we go. Hopefully we will survive. Although of course we will also need missiles, to defend, well, everything. So we'll put those up here because they're going to attempt air attacks on us by launching creep at us from the skies. Here we go. And maybe like one more back here. Although we do have time in this mission. That is very nice. And we don't have to think about bluite at all. Not that I don't like thinking about bluite. After all, who doesn't like thinking about bluite? But sometimes it's a bit much, even for me. Oh god, wait a minute, it's getting up there, and I do kind of need these. Do we have any more pylons? Nope, I don't really need that pylon, though. Okay, I don't want to disperse my energy too much. Okay, we're just going to utterly wreck them in a second, once we get the rest of these built. Okay, cool, now we're supplying with ammo. And, okay, now the airstrikes come in, so this is quite crazy. Do we have our air defenses up yet? No, we don't! We didn't. Never mind. Hang on a second. Let's get back down from 1 speed. They just hit us in, like, our most vulnerable point right there. That was not good. Okay, we need to go ahead and connect back to that in no time at all, otherwise we're dead. How did my missiles not work against that? Oh well, I guess I just need to build more missiles. And then have more mortars ready in the background. Okay, like 2 or 3 missiles ready in each spot. Okay, is that going to be enough to clear up the creep that got in? What we want is to just automate our defense before we go any further. Okay, maybe it wouldn't hurt to have like another towers just so that there's a backup on our array if anything goes wrong. Okay, and here comes the second launch of missiles. Wow, what a fail. How bad. Hang on a second, we have to slow down time here. I'm not playing very well. We also didn't have our towers built there. Alright, let's just keep building missiles. We should be able to hit them out of the sky pretty much wherever they go up here. That one is just sort of naturally dissipating. I guess creep just does sort of like evaporate a little bit over time. Like it has an evaporatorial quality about it. Alright, but I'd say that pretty much more or less now the line is held. Okay, so this is kind of one of those ones where it's just purely a battle of attrition. Now, we could push our way over to one of the emitters with a bunch of these things, or we could go for this middle section and then push out. I think I'm going to try that this time, so we'll just build like a bunch of mortars here in the middle and then just bunny hop these over each other. So let's just get a bunch of these things ready. Here we go. Prepare the wall! Okay, the last time I utterly forgot to build air missiles, I forgot the factory that I needed for the ammo supply, so that was not very smart of me. I was like, why are my air defenses not working? That was why. But I did build a little bit of a backup turret defense at our base, so hopefully we shouldn't get interrupted by that this time. Here we go. Okay, this is our test of our air defenses. And we are still utterly screwed because we just didn't have enough. That does happen from time to time, although that wasn't nearly as bad as it had been the time before. So we're still going to need yet more missiles, but just it was a decent start. Let's just make sure we have extra air missiles like right next to our resources, because obviously we don't want them to keep... I swear, it feels like that they do kind of intelligent targeting over there, like they do target the base of your resources, so there is like some clever AI kind of going on here. Hang on a second, let's just destroy that, make this a slightly more compact layout. And there we go, okay, cool. Otherwise though, we really didn't need that many mortars, so we just kind of want to go on the offensive here in the middle, so let's not waste all of our energy doing that. Like, that should be enough to defend our walls. Now, I'm pretty sure that we could just do maybe one more missile over here. Maybe one over here, too, because it's connecting these two areas, and that's rather important. We basically just don't want to have to think about missile launches, like, at all, if possible. But then we've got another few more here, and we could probably do a few more here. I'm just going to kind of... This is kind of like my unit bay, and I'm just going to kind of bunny hop this up as I advance. I guess leapfrog is really a bit, not really a bunny hop, it's more of a leapfrog. Okay, here we go. They're targeting us. Alright, I guess we can at least easily see their targets. But shouldn't our missiles still hit that one? Okay, so let's just go up to 2 times speed. I guess, you know what? Even if they hit us over there, like, the creep still kind of dissolves and falls to the ground, right? Like it did over in some of those other spots. So let's put one more missile up closer to the front of that whole line. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now I think we can just start to slowly advance up this line of mortars. And we're going to make our way to that spot in the middle. Now this is going to take a little while, but I'm feeling relatively well defended here now. So I think we can just start to make the crossing. I feel like Noah, you know? It's very Noahic, this part. Okay, we've connected to the central nexus here, so this should give us a lot of room. I think our main base defense is more or less, like, taken care of, but we'll just leave these ones here for good measure, I think. Because they're gonna start to hit the network here. Yeah, there we go. Like, see, they're going for the power poles, so we kind of need to spread some of these turrets back. We don't really need a ton, but it's just like, it's so geometrical, this game. It's just very easy to get locked into, and the time just flies by when you're playing. It's just, like, immensely satisfying, I feel. Anyway, I suppose that they won't be hitting us with any air attacks from there, but I'm just gonna put a missile here for good measure. Okay, so now that we have the central area, we could pretty much push out to the sides, and then that'll clear everything up, and then we go back here. I believe that this is conducting the fluid, too, so that is always fun. Okay, let's go in with more mortars. I think it's just time for a whole other line of these things, and now we just have to go straight in and, like, dismantle the threat from where it's coming from. Amazing. Okay, here is an overview of the combat. I just think that it looks really sweet. Kind of like gazing down at an anthill in some way. Like, this game would do really well with time lapses if there isn't already a mod for it or something. And now we can start to kind of piggyback these ones outward. Cool. I'm not really using pylons because they're just, I feel like they're too much of a, like a commit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if something goes awry with them, then it really could get bad. I think these will probably get beaten down. Or maybe not. We might be okay here. But we really have to get in close if we want to get the nullifier on this one. Let's just move it up to 4x speed. And, okay, I think we need another... No, we are conducting here on the tower. Let's do that. Oh, God! Okay, we are getting bombed, but even still, we're doing so well that it doesn't make a difference. Like, we have so many cannons in there, or mortars. I think I will just continue to use mortars here because they have like a very good payload, but we literally need to get right up next to this thing now and just use a nullifier on it, so we're going to need to just spam these things. I sometimes wish there were a better way to do this, but... Oh, man. Yeah, like, see, we can hardly even get it up that close to it. We just kind of need to surround this thing with them. Okay, I'd say that this is about our best chance. We've basically got this entire hill surrounded. This thing's emitting 500 every 8 seconds, so it's this huge wave, but we just have to beat it down constantly in order to defend our nullifier. I do believe I did this once and lost power in the nullifier, and it just came back and wrecked everything. But okay, there we go. Finally, we've defused one of them. Amazing. So now we could just take this whole huge redundant hill over here and like move these over to the other front. And it should be a little bit simpler to defuse the north side now because we already have most of the cannons that we need. But yeah, it's like fighting a multi-front war. I do believe it is going to get more like tactical as time goes on because some of the enemies are like not quite so mindless. It just kind of feels like fighting at a force of nature, like the Eldrazi or something like that. Okay, and then just after another insane number of cannons have been placed, we have finally been able to nullify the north too, it looks like, or in 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Alright, so now, just to zoom out, we've basically taken the whole north and south with our network. God, I didn't even really intend to make this webbing network, but I did somehow. Cool, very neat. We could probably, like, bridge across here, but I think if we just go straight for the source, that's gonna be for the best. So now we just bring everything up the middle. Whoops, actually I won't do that. That might be a bit too much overkill right there. Let's, again, I'm kind of fearful that these things will get cut off at the source, but let's just bring a few of these up to the front line over here. And we'll just go straight in for this last one. Okay, and I think this part is pretty sweet if you look at the map. So as soon as we stop... Oh gosh, wait a minute. Did we really pass the mission already? Okay, I guess we did technically reclaim it. Very cool, but I kind of want to see the more or less intended ending anyway, so I'm just gonna march these things up here, because if we get rid of this thing, it's going to stop conducting the creep there, and then we should see it totally dissipate just with this one bit. I mean, we could nullify it, but yeah, why not? We'll nullify it too. Alright, but now it should just dissipate anyway, because this thing isn't conducting it anymore. See, it stays on the north side because of the conduction. Isn't that kind of neat, though? But yeah, just like, I mean, if you look at this game purely as a fluid simulation, it is pretty sweet. Man, look at that. Anyway, that's more or less the end of that mission, so we've accomplished the objective. Let's just rip jump. Yeah, I do like that one. Okay, I'm skipping over the mission hints because a lot of it's just more of what we've already seen. There is some anti-creep in it, which is kind of neat, but I think that Sirius is an even more interesting mission because it has terraforming in it. Okay, this mission is really sweet because we're basically just kind of surrounded on all sides. So I will just kind of like demo what is going on in this mission. So, creep just starts off here. There really is no emitter, I suppose. It's just like, if there is creep over the conduction layer, or whatever you would call this. I guess this is... Yeah, basically that's what it is. Like, if there is creep, it creates more creep. So you really just start out with each of the 4 corners covered. And then as that spreads, that's going to create waves all the way out from the sides. So if we just speed up time, it's going to create these, like, kind of grid or box-like waves. See how we have that kind of grid pattern? And then we get more of it. I'm just going to let it, fill in so that you could see. But we do have these little kind of suspect boxes over here, as well as, like these little holes in the wall that we need to terraform, and then another box over here with more stuff that we need. But if we kind of, like, let time pass, there's kind of these cool patterns that the waves make. Anyway, I know that it looks cool, but it is apocalyptic and bad. Don't forget that, man. Goo kills people, man. Not funny. But anyway, yeah, this is, I guess, more or less the area that we're trying to defend in this mission. It always strikes me, though, that you could probably start off your base in some weird spot and just get something totally different. Yeah, see, it's, like, kind of intelligent the way that its missiles strike. Alright, so let's go ahead and restart. I do have a plan, surprisingly, for this one. Alright, here we go. There's a little bit of work to do here, but basically the new item that we're dealing with is the terp, which is basically, actually I have to think about how I'm gonna keep this energy safe here. What am I gonna do? What are we gonna do, man? Yeah, we need to build back up these walls, and we also need to get rid of these spore launchers. Could I just neutralize that, like, immediately? Now my neutralizer would get taken out. It wouldn't make a difference. Okay, I'm gonna do this more or less in the kind of like turtle way, but it's gonna take me a minute to just decide. Okay, so this mission features terps. We need to, I think it's around 15 is the terraforming height that we're kind of required to bring these, like, cliffs to. It's kind of neat the way that you can just see everything in 2D. It almost looks like the first couple of games based on what I've seen from stuff. All this like info text here. All right, whatever. Go down here as well. And I believe that's all of the danger zones, if you will, on top of our base. I think I'm going to just bring the height of these areas over here to maybe like 11 or let's just go for an even 10. Yeah, like less work to be done there. Whoops! I messed up there. Shift click. Okay, to delete. Okay, that is a help in case if I make any mistakes. I did not actually know that in my amazing infinite wisdom. Let's go ahead and just build around this. Because what we really want to do is just make these into a box for these resources. So we'll put another terp up there, and we'll put another one over here. I like this planning it all out and then just watching the whole, like, my scheme take place, you know? It's just something oddly satisfying about it in this. 10, that should be more or less right. Okay, now I think we can get out of terraforming mode. So now we can see that all of these, that is kind of nice, how all of these terraforming areas have a box designated. I do wish that there were, like, some sort of blueprint outline to tell you what height that was, because it is a little bit confusing, necessarily, so... Anyway, so we have our terps going to work there. We also have like a quick energy source over here. I think I'm also going to put just another terp up here. I know I'm kind of going out on a limb to do this, but I found it tricky in this mission to get all the towers to conduct properly on all these differing heights. Hang on a second. So let's get another one over here. Yeah, and we're going to need a missile defense pretty early on as well, so let's just connect directly to this ore. This may or may not work out. Probably, in all likelihood, it won't. Something is going to give over there. But whatever. And then after that, we'll probably get some miners to work. Maybe like one thing of miners, but let's just see what that results in. Okay, so if we 4x the speed, we're getting tons of energy coming in from here, so this is just giving us a big boost just to get started. We need something like that. Let's also just get, let's get our mines going, first off. Because they call it a mine, after all, they do. Here we go, we'll put 2 more there. And another one there, and just kind of fill out this area. Looks like I missed one, but whatever. Not really going back for that now. Let's just fill this entire area up with mines. 2, 3, 4, and I could probably rotate to place just one more. Okay, whatever. I'm not like min-maxing perfectly, but it is what it is. Okay, so now the terraforming is taking place over here. We need another terp in this section. I want to get to work on that right away. That's not actually going to get that entire wall, but it is useful to have going on. Where else could we get another terp? We need another electrical tower here, and... yeah, I'll put a terp like there. Okay, so that's just gonna get us started, like, trying to wall in these areas, because we want to neutralize whatever creep we've got in there. Alright, so our outer wall, so this central area is more or less defended now. That is not gonna hold up for very long, though. These things will get destroyed, so we won't have any source of, missile defense, because this thing is going to launch missiles at us in 2 minutes, and we just simply don't have a missile defense grid right now. We might be able to, if we use a pylon, can we? Nah, that still won't connect. Okay, so we are just, like, without a missile defense here, which is honestly too bad, so I'm just going to put mortars everywhere around our base, so that when they do hit us, we will have some chance at defending ourselves. Just because I need to make sure that these mines stay safe in the first place, otherwise what do we even have? Oh god, wait a minute. Are we gonna be able to live through this? Let's also build just one turret at the bottom of each of these walls. And oh god, I forgot to build this one in time. Are we dead from here? I think we may very well be dead, but let's see if we can procrastinate our way to the finish. Okay, yes, the creep is beginning to get through. It's beginning to come in. Oh no! Save thyself! I forgot about this section! Oh, all of my planning gone to waste! No! It's alright. I think our mortars will actually be able to fend it off for a while. Oh well. All's well that ends well, sort of. Let's go ahead and fill in the rest of our grid in here, just make it a bit more robust. And build a little bit more there. There's always like one leak in the defense. I should probably save more, come to think of it. But whatever. Okay, so now we can start to build our way upward, because it would be nice to build some mortars on these walls. Okay, I'm just gonna surround ourselves, and as long as nothing goes horribly awry, we will survive through this mistake. Okay, we are being hit with airstrikes. I've just utterly surrounded our main base with mortars. The mortars should pretty much just take out the airstrikes right as they come in. It seems as if our terraforming is working too. That is quite good. As soon as we are, like, not using up quite so much energy anymore, I'm gonna switch this to blueite. In fact, actually, maybe right now I will do that. So we will produce blueite here. And we're going to need that to start to take this area, the green R mother. Yeah, mother. Huh. Interesting. Whose mother is it? Whoever's mother it is. We've found her. You can stop looking now. It seems to me as though we are producing more pain for the creep than it is actually sending toward us now, although... Are we putting in any blueite into this? Whoops, actually I take that back. Okay, so we have the blueite. Oh, whoops, I forgot to make a factory in all of the craziness. Whoops-a-daisy. All right, let's go ahead and put in a mortar there. But now we're going to meet some of our new friends. Yes, friends. These are sprayers. And sprayers do exactly what you think they do. They spray the goop with anti-goop, though. Oh god, wait a minute. Something is getting through. How did that get... Oh, I think I know what it was. Never mind. All right, but pretty good here, pretty good. We've actually made a little bit of progress with these terps. Okay, so now the goop is beginning to spread the correct way that we wanted it to. I think this one needs a little bit more help terraforming over here, so let's go ahead and put another terp over on that side. I think we can just repurpose these terps. Terps can also be moved. We'll also put this one over there because I would like to get this red stuff done ASAP. But you can see, like, we've got a multi-front war going on here, and it is actually kind of cool. Look at how much this is spreading over here on this side. Ah, it's exciting. It is quite cool, isn't it? Do we even need that much energy anymore? Trying to see where our supply is coming from. Okay, ammo really is what we're producing. Let's just make more blueite over here then. I'm pretty sure we can repurpose, like, all of this for blueite. Yeah, that should be fine. I'm not sure if we want to be on no energy. That might not be so good. Doesn't somebody use it? I believe somebody must be using it. But either way, now we've got a solid amount of anti-creep down here, so what we can start to do is... pun intended, we can start to creep, see what I did there? Our towers downward. And then we put in, well, we could do more sprayers, but that would use up more blueite, so I think we just do more mortars here. Very cool. Very cool. You know, actually, we aren't producing quite enough energy anymore. I take it back. I think we could use a couple more of these on energy now. Oh god, what is happening here? Oh, it's still the airstrikes. Hang on a second, I gotta reproduce some of these. I think that was about it. Yep, okay, it didn't take them over here. Alright, but now we're producing that, and we should be able to get the greenar. And then kind of more key import over here is this one. Let's get some sprayers so we can just flood this area with, whatchamacallit, the blueite, the anti-creep. Here we go. Put in anti-creep over there. And then if we just speed up to 4x, we should be producing hopefully enough. Because we are on, like, kind of a positive here with this. Okay, we still are at an energy deficit. I feel like we could use a little bit more energy here. Yeah. Energy. Although this is looking very good, and this is starting to look more promising now. We might even be able to terraform this higher, but now what we could even start to do would be to put in more mortars on this wall now that we've terraformed it. Like, we have more room to station everyone on as well. Very exciting. Although it is still getting through over here. Alright, I think we could move one of these terps down to the bottom now, or over onto this side of the wall. Cool, that'll terraform the rest. Although it doesn't want to terraform directly onto creep. We can gradually just start to make our way toward it. Okay, you go over there, you go over here. And now we've kind of created this pool of anti-creep, like a pool of our own. Okay, it wouldn't hurt to defend ourselves from airstrikes. Now, let's see if we can defend this red on, or probably named that because it's the color red. Amazing. Alright, is this all anti-creep in here? Yeah, so the anti-creep is just kind of like glazing our entire army over here and defending us. I do like that. Alright, I actually think that we can start to build the refinery even before we're done terraforming in this section. Okay, I will build, or move you over here. We actually have like an excessive amount of anti-creep. I don't think that we need quite this much. Let's repurpose some of these from blueite, so you can kind of get whatever you need out of this. So there is like a little bit of an economy, but not overly obnoxiously so much. Oh, Just serotonin, man. Okay, our anti-creep has pretty much filled up this pool, and that's allowed our terraforming tools to bring all these areas up to a 10, so now we're kind of better defended here. We could go to the very end, but I think we should just go straight for these totems on the sides, because this area is more or less defended as well. What else could be done? Now, at this point, we could probably just spray anti-creep all over this, so let's just get tons of mortars over this section as well. Because we really don't even need to fight these wars, and look at how much anti-creep our pyramid is creating. Wow, that's kind of cool. Okay, this is kind of sneaky of me, but we can basically just build a totem over here to get the lithic into this one, so that is like a pretty easy way to the objective. We don't have to do much in that department. We're at like a pretty big energy deficit this entire time. We just don't have that much to mine through. Like, look at how much demand this is on our grid. We have tons. This is very lopsided as well, I might add, but whatever. I don't really trust that area on its own, so I'm just gonna try to like stretch our power even more and see if we can just get another one. Oh god, I heard something awful somewhere. Oh, I think that was just missiles. Never mind. Now we're pretty much safe from missiles now. Never mind. Although, fortunately, this is kind of like the edge of my knowledge. This is about all I know about this game so far. So yeah, like, from here on out, it's kind of a mystery. Okay, and that is just barely enough to get both of these totems neutralized. Now, I could, like, take out parts of this, but I do think it's kind of cool that some of these missions are just sort of like survival. There's so many ways to play this game, you know? It is kind of neat. Okay, so here we go. Lift tick going in, and 3, 2, 1. Cool, alright, totems are activated. We could nullify, but, I mean, that's the whole mission. And it's just kind of left as this battlefield, so, sweet. Alright, so here at the end, we actually do come to the end of my knowledge. I think I'm just gonna zoom out before I do the last mission that I'm really gonna show for today. There is quite a lot more, and I think now that this is like... Honestly, these are just kind of the tutorial missions, and there's still more to be learned here. But there is quite a lot in the game. I just wanted to go this far. I've seen a lot more. You can look up videos where it's like people doing crazy things in this game. If you guys want to see more, I'd be happy to do, I don't know, try out some more of that stuff. Because now that I've done it, I'm like, ooh, this is actually just... It's just really visually interesting, and I don't know, it's fun to watch. But there's a lot of other stuff you can do in the game, like mission editor, and there's all these other like daily challenges. At least I believe, yeah, daily. Okay. But then also experimental missions. I want to say, yeah, colonies. So maps created by other people. So there's like all these mazes and things. But yeah, there is quite a lot going on here. And like many more units even than I've shown. Like I'm only just kind of scratching, maybe more than scratching the surface, but there is quite a lot going on. Anyway, upgrades. So this is a new mission to me. I've seen this one though, although you do start to get blob nests, so you do get actual, like, enemy units that kind of spawn here. What else have we got here? We've got the ERN Sarge was talking about. I should select a weapon and click the ERN button in the command menu. Alright, so we actually have upgrades now in this mission. I guess we'll just place our base around about there. This is a mission that is new to me. I have not played this one yet, so this is where the mystery lay. Let's go ahead and connect to some early energy. That'd be good. And then I guess we'll just kind of build out from there. Make sure that's connected to our poles. And then select a weapon and click the ERN button in the command menu. So select a weapon and then click the ERN. I guess we actually have to build it. Alright, I'm gonna like try this one out and see where it lands me. Probably dead, and then I'll figure out what I'm doing. Okay, so this is kind of sweet. This is a terrifying mission. There is just a huge enemy spawner over here, like an enormous base, where the blobs just kind of like push themselves, or they like walk in, sacrifice themselves, and then just create tons of creep. Which is quite a terrifying concept, but we fortunately have the advantage of ERNs, which are going to give us like weapon upgrades here, and this is just going to give us, I guess, more speed and more range on these turrets here. Is there actually a bridge connection between these two? I suppose there is. That is a little bit scary. So we need to get this done in time. I might actually go slowly through this one. Okay, cool. We have another ERN. Whoops. So we do need the terp for that. And I will just say want the ERN on this one. Okay, cool. So now we have 3 upgraded mortar things. So let's just put those in an area where we can kind of hold off this goop before it becomes too overwhelming. And do we have another one somewhere too? Okay, we do have a couple more that we could excavate, so let's just kind of make our way over there. Alright, well, I feel like I cut this mission off at, like, kind of an early head. I did fail at once, but, I mean, that pretty much happens in every single mission, so... yeah, something broke. Nothing major, alright, we're okay, never mind. It seems as though, like, if you can get the weapon upgrades early enough... What was that? What was that? Oh, no. No. It's fine, never mind. Alright, I will send another ERN to this one, because this one is doing quite a lot of work over here. Although this one is really pushing them back now. Just these things are super OP when you get them that way. We can just connect this to the rest of our power network. This is like an information thing. What else do we need? We have a refinery here for some lithic, and then we can build another terp over here. I guess we could technically just move the terp. We could just sort of like wall them in if we wanted upgrades at the ERN portal. Ooh, ERN portal? New achievement unlocked. No, but very, very cool, very cool. What does that mean? Fortunately, though, we won't need like 6 million towers in order to continue with my grand scheme of plans. Let me just get rid of the rest of the goop from over here. It's goop. It's oobleck, basically. God, I forgot about oobleck until this. Okay, cool. We've got a refinery. We might as well get one more upgrade, because I think the whole point of each of these levels is to just basically spam whatever thing it is that it's telling you to do. Like, if it's telling you to get upgrades, just get the upgrade, and then that makes the mission so much easier. For the most part, yes, that's it. But let's also put a couple mortars in the background here. Just in case, because I do seem to get snuck up on every here and there. Like if an air missile comes and gets me, and it just in a spot where I get blindsided by it. There we go, alright. And it's not gonna be so... Yeah, see there? Like, where is it hitting us? At least you do get to see early where it's aiming, though. What is this? Energy collection, mine production, build speed, fire range. I guess let's go fire rate. Oh, you could use up one of the upgrades to just improve all of them. That's kind of crazy. Fire range is surprisingly useful as well. Yeah. Buried one. Okay, so can you unbuy them too? Release. Okay, so you could just use that for another cannon if you wanted, I suppose. Alright, let's do fire range. I feel like... Efficiency 1%. Oh, I guess maybe it like continues to build it toward it or something. Very cool though. Very, very neat. Liking what I'm seeing everywhere. Alright, let's go ahead and move you up. You're another one of the upgraded ones. We'll just put you over there so that you can work on that thing. Then maybe you can unbury that even with all of the crap over it. Okay, now I think we can just start to kind of move everything up. And I would like to see what a sprayer could do, but I'm kind of liking this pure energy build. There's something nice about it. All I have to think about is just the energy. But how in the hell are we gonna get all the way over there? I might just try, like, putting in a lot of anti-creep. Mine production, move speed, build speed. Yeah, I gotta deliberate this for a minute. Oh god, I don't know what I've done, but I've created some massive wall of terribleness. Alright, let's just increase the fire rate and the efficiency. Can we do both of those things? Efficiency 100% on the fire rate. Okay, whatever. At this point, what is even happening there? What is that? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I guess we will improve mine production, actually, if we do this. Mine production, it seems to take a minute. But if we do that on blueite, we just don't have access to that much mining in this level, after all. Alright, let's get some blueite, because I don't see how else we're going to push through this. It seems problematic to push through it with mortars, so let's just spray more, blueite at them in an anti-creeper. Well, after a great battle, they've somehow gotten through, even after all of our work on energy production. I feel like demoralized, but it is just such a great foe. It's huge. It's kind of awesome. I think that might have been another big wave, but this is basically just a solid, like, cube of blue now, and it's horrific and awful. I mean, it's all flowing through this one small channel, so the pressure is so great, but the waves are enormous now, man. Oh god, I'm just totally defenseless over there. Do we have any more ERN upgrades there? Okay, I guess we could just float a couple more ERNs over that away. Do we have any more from all of our lost turrets? Probably, but... gosh. I don't really even know what to do here. There's just, like, so much stuff coming at me. So much blue, man. Alright, it's taken me a minute, but I think I've figured out more or less what the secret is in this mission, and it's really not that complicated. But, it took me a minute to notice it. Basically, so you have these two highly pressurized zones, but you have this great surface area here where you can hit them from in the middle. So I guess actually we could totally just put some turrets over there in the middle. Wow, this totally is going to work. Seems like a risk, but you know, we could use this to get in and destroy the blob nest in here, I suppose. But now again, we just leapfrog in. So it looked like a level that was basically unwinnable, but yeah, thanks to that, we can get through. Okay, cool. Now that we're there, I guess we just nullify the blob nest. Oh, great blob nest, be pacified. Wow, man, that really is a lot. So then that should start to take away all of them. Although, look at that one. That one's just totally undefended. There's got to be a faster way through there. All right, now this blob nest is going to cause us fewer problems, although we still have the emitters. It's crazy because it's just a giant wall here. But I guess it also has to do with, like, liquid pressure. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, let's go with that, liquid pressure. I'm gonna bring in an upgraded unit there. And now this should really push back the tides. Okay, cool, so all the goop has just sort of like... How did that even happen? Alright, that's kind of crazy, but connect these back to our network, connect these to our network, get even further there, and then we should be able to nullify that one from afar. Yeah, it's probably not getting through. Okay, that didn't work out. Can we get it from slightly to the side? Yeah, I believe we can, if we can keep this thing in safe territory over here. Okay, now, if we 4x the speed, nope. Alright, we need to creep the mortars up even closer. Let's just get a bunch of them over there. And okay, after the flinging of much doo-doo, it seems like we have finally gotten to the nullification of this thing. That is, if we have the energy production needed to make it happen. Okay, that should basically take out everything, because now there will be no more goop left to conduct. Except the blobs will also create greater spikes for a little while. Okay, but I think we could then just bring over more of these things. I'm like afraid to put anything over there. It's like attacking a giant pyramid. That's so cool. Also, at the same time, okay, we can just nullify that, and nullify that, and then go in. I guess we could probably make our way around with the blobs somehow. Okay, march, brethren! Oh, wait a minute, did I just do the nullifier? No, I didn't accidentally. That would stink if you accidentally took a nullifier the wrong direction. Oop, just got off the base, everyone. Sorry about that, don't mind me. Okay, I think we could just go for it right now if we wanted to, but what fun would that be? Let's get rid of the blobs first. Pylons here, and then out in the other territory, yeah, like there. Okay, and I think we've pretty much won the mission. We've got all of our territory back, but we still have yet to activate the totems. I think we could just take out the blobs from here. The terrifying blobs. That's so weird. To think that this was all caused by a bunch of cockroaches, you know? How problematic they are. Here we go, 2 more pylons, and then that should basically just stop the blue from spawning at all. Wow. Amazing. It's like just very satisfying to get through one of these, like cleaning up a great big mess. You know, like you dropped a huge glass of Gatorade on the floor, because that's what you drink every day. Here we go. Put 1 more there, and then that should conduct all the way over to the blob base. I just want to see the look on their faces when they stop, you know, pewing into it. Look at that. No more pewing you will do, evildoer. Alright, I think we can just go over to those totems now. Just bridge our way over. I'm not trying to break anyone's heart. This isn't a speed run, but it is what it is. Ooh, I would really like to get that totem up. Come on, man. Yes! The first. The second leads to the third. And then the fourth, but it's kind of anticlimactic because not even any more blue is being created now. Oh well. And that's all she wrote. Wow, very, very cool. Very, very cool. And there's still even more to do, more to learn. Phew, that's the whole mission. We just did every single objective. Very cool way of ending. It's all just like very geometrically satisfying. All right, that was the 10th mission, I suppose. One thing that I notice about this game is a lot of people get all the way through the content. There's a lot of games where people just don't play them. 1 + 1 is greater than 2. Interesting. Okay, what is this one going to be? I just kind of... Alright, some kind of like epic story going on here, but this is how they always seem to start, you know, like one nonchalant emitter that just causes lots of trouble because it triggers this like domino effect. Very cool, very cool. I just kind of want to see what it looks like. This game is just so sweet. It's very satisfying. You know, it does I'm always sad when I play one of these types of games because not like in the traditional sense, but just one of those games that I really think you should just go out and try, like that I recommend, that when people see it, they'll be like, ooh, I really want to pick up a copy of that. Either that or you just get sucked down the YouTube rabbit hole of like, I don't know, watching all of the crazy playthroughs of this, which I feel like now that I get it, now that I've got through most of the tutorials, I feel like there's more I could give a try to. What is going on over here? Oh, so it just like randomly gets shot out from oh, this is horrible. This is so confusing, this level. Well, it's a good place to stop. I said I would end right about there, but anyway, yep. What is the name of this game? Creeper World 4. Very, very cool game. I could let you check out some of the custom scenarios, but I think you're better off just checking, like, I don't know, looking them up on your own. There's bound to be far better videos of it. But yeah, if you didn't know about this game, I do hope this helped you discover it. It is a very unique type of tower defense RTS hybrid. Cool campaign, too. Actually, a campaign I would like to do all of, and just enough story to be not too in your face, but still set the tone right. Anyway, I think I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I know this game is a couple of years old, but yeah, I thought I'd come back and give it a look, and anything else like it, because I don't know, you like me seem to like tower defense games, so I'm happy to show off more that I know of and hear of and get recommended. So anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time.